till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is attached.
Hi everyone and welcome to Protocol 36. As we all heard the news today, we finally have gameplay of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. In this video, I'll be breaking down the new story details that we have and also analyze the gameplay on how different and how similar Miles fights compared to Peter. So let's begin. When starting the gameplay demo, we have Miles and Genki walking into a Christmas-themed street fair where they pretty much have some kind of rally for Miles' mother, Rio, where it looks like Rio Morales wanting to run a city council, which is interesting as Miles stated that she's a teacher and now she wants to go into politics. As to why, we're not really too sure. However, I wouldn't be surprised if she was inspired by Jefferson and she wants to go into politics and try and make a difference in the city. After what happened in Spider-Man PS4, the city pretty much went through a lot, so she would probably want to help out as much as possible. Probably even was somewhat inspired by Aunt May with her philosophy: if you can help someone, you'll help everyone. So yeah, and now we have answers as who is the Energy Corporation and the gang war. We theorized that it could be Roxxon. It turned out to be correct. However, the gang war was pretty interesting as it turns out to be a gang called the Underground, which is run by the Tinkerer, is a minor Spider-Man villain who also showed up in Spider-Man Homecoming, who usually supplies tech to other villains. He had a few run-ins with Spider-Man, however in Spider-Man PS4 we didn't really have a mention of him, so we didn't really know if Peter went up against this iteration of the Tinkerer. But whether he will be the main villain of the game is yet to be seen, as Insomniac could pull another move similar to how they did in the first game, where they were promoting a lot of Mr. Negative's mission and him being one of the villains in the game. However, they never completely revealed who the main villain was going to be until we played the game, which we found out was going to be Otto Octavius. So they might just do something similar in this game where Tinkerer would be one of the villains in the game. However, he may not be the main villain, and the main villain could possibly be somebody like the Prowler or someone else. However, right now we don't know. We don't really have enough information about the story, which is fine. As the demo continues, Horton explains that the Underground will be stealing an energy source made by Roxxon, which is called Nuform. In the comics, Nuform was created by Roxxon, which is basically an unstable form of vibranium. So this pretty much ties into Black Panther. Now, I don't think Black Panther would show up in this game. He could possibly as a guest appearance, however, I don't think that would happen, as, you know, Black Panther probably has matters over Wakanda, which Miles Morales has to deal with street level problems, which is pretty interesting that Insomniac chose to do that. When we get to the bridge, where Miles is trying to calm the situation, trying to avoid a huge fight between Roxxon and Underground. However, Underground seems to be desperate getting the Nuform. As to why, we're not really too sure yet. However, we can speculate. I'm not too sure why. Possibly Tinkerer is working for someone above his pay grade and then he has to use his gang to get the Nuform. And then we jump to Miles' gameplay. Miles' gameplay is so fluid and so different from Peter Parker's, but at the same time we do see some similarities in simple ways, such as how he dodges and how he pretty much kicks. Similar to when you play as Peter, when you fight as Peter, he starts with a kick towards an enemy. So you do see some similarities between those two, which makes sense because Peter trained him after all. But at the same time, Miles is incorporating his own fighting style, which is great, as a student is not only meant to take everything from the teacher, but also take those lessons and make it into his own, which is what Miles is doing exactly. Not only using his natural abilities as Spider-Man, but also using his Venom Blast and also his camouflage abilities too. His takedowns are completely different compared to Peter's, which is exciting to see, which he has some of the best finishes. However, due to Miles's Venom Blast having some sort of reaction to the Nuform, it causes the bridge to pretty much collapse. We do get to see one moment where Miles web swinging before he tries to save the passengers in the bus. Other than that, we don't really have much when it comes to web swinging, but we could get more in the future. Not to mention we did get some web swinging sequence in the previous trailer. But after Miles saves the bus passengers, we also get to see him doing the classic Spider-Man Hercules hold, which is amazing to see that even Miles has to use that move as well. And the fact that he's trying to pull the bridge together and the fact that it even worked momentarily just goes to show how strong this interpretation of Miles is, which is pretty impressive, before he goes to try to save one of the civilians. It's been confirmed that not only will this game be coming out for the PlayStation 5, but it will also come out for the PlayStation 4. So those of you who are not ready to get the PlayStation 5 yet, you can rest. You can just get the PlayStation 4 version of the game, which is amazing to hear. We also got the prices for the PlayStation 5 as well. I'm from the UK, so for me it's going to be $599.99 for the standard edition. For those who want the digital version, it's pretty much cheaper. So yeah, let me know what do you think about the gameplay. For me, I'm loving it so far. I'm gonna try and get it day one, so until then, expect a lot of videos about this game. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to begin Protocol 36.